We gotta keep them away.
That's loud.
I know.
Signatures later.
All right, guys. Once again, this is your friend Efrain Escudero, and this is the Naked Raw Truth. To my right, I have Tucker. Natural. And to my left, I have Adam, Breeser, and Tyler. Guys, so we're gonna jump right into it. How's everybody's day going? How's it?
I've only been awake for about 90 minutes.
I've been awake for probably about 45.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
We just got off work, so
Yeah.
we've been up since early.
yeah.
What time did you guys get up?
5:20.
Yeah, that's what time I got off work.
Yeah. All right, well, and Jesus, the man behind, he's always hiding. So, other than that, guys, what'd you guys think about the podcast, the last episode?
Honestly, last episode went amazing, in my opinion. It's supposed to be dropping here tonight or tomorrow, so as soon as it's out, I mean, they're going to see it before this drops, but it felt like we got a lot more topics done, and everybody was able to kind of get in on the conversations more. I feel like the first episode was kind of just, you test bits, see everybody's shyness and whatnot. That's not my phone, so I promise.
That's not my phone.
That's the watch. That was the watch.
I can promise that ringtone wasn't mine or yours.
I think it was his.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was not mine.
Never know.
It was not
Mine's
mine.
Gasolina, so.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I feel like the episode went really great. I mean, I don't know, you guys feel probably the same way, but I feel like we were all a little bit more engaged and
Okay.
kind of able to get it squared away. So.
In a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All on time, correct. Guys, actually, let's move aside of that. Look, check it out. Officially.
Shout out to Jesus.
Actually, that was not Jesus.
Okay. Shout out to someone other than Jesus.
that was you, man.
I made that.
I don't like
That's so
shit.
cool. Thank you.
They look the same, so
I
it's
don't
fine.
like it. I don't like it anymore.
It's actually not that good.
Yeah, it's just a test run, guys.
Yeah.
I like
So, guys,
That looks
this will actually be on my shorts here. Obviously, I'll be fighting here on the 23rd in Mexico City. I leave on I'm gonna leave on Monday. So on Monday, the 19th, I'll be in Mexico City. I will be out there for fight week, and then also making sure I cut weight. Obviously, I still don't know the rules of karate combat, but we're still going out there.
Not to be like that guy. I'm just trying to find out. You guys have to wear headgear. I mean, what do you guys do?
No, there's no headgear. Obviously, from what I seen and read, it's I can't kick anywhere in the thigh, which is okay because I never kick anyways. Second of all is I can't elbow. There's no jiu-jitsu, and I can ground him. Like if I hit him, I have to continue hitting him, and if it stops for more than 5 seconds, they stand us up. I can be completely wrong, and they're gonna correct me while I'm there. But I've been practicing how to.
So we're playing kindergarten roles.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Kindergarten karate. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's no submissions, there's no anything like that. Well, I hope there's not, but I mean I don't really care. I'm ready. So camp has been amazing. Obviously I've been having a lot right now. It's been difficult just getting back on the groove of getting back in the habit of training, work, cutting weight, dieting, and especially because all these guys can vouch for you guys. I like to eat. I really like to eat.
What?
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so
You don't say.
Yeah.
yeah, babe, but I always take care of y'all
Yeah, you do.
every single time. Come on.
Well, yeah. You didn't
What?
eat burritos that one day, remember?
No, there was that, and then on top of the fact that you're like, oh, we'll get you lunch. I don't know, lunch from a soup kitchen. That's not lunch.
Dude.
Yeah.
Hey, I think you're the only person I ever ordered pizza and wings multiple
You
times.
act like I haven't ordered Chipotle for you.
Well, yeah, but I still, it's not
That's-
not just.
My favorite part's when he says he hasn't ate, but he already had a whole full meal,
Yeah.
and then it brings us the leftovers.
Yeah.
It was my first meal.
The first meal.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking
Seconds, thirds.
You eat like my body looks like you should. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Man. All right, guys. So on our last podcast, we pretty much got on the topic of knowing who everybody is. We went on the topic of who is Tyler. And obviously, he shared a lot of great details of what makes him very special. I do want to touch on what Breezer did say. Now, when we get to know Breezer, when we get to know Tucker, more of the let's hit on the more of the things that change your life. Like those. What was that? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, we got Tyler's birth to current story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
When their parents met.
yeah.
Yeah.
How many dates they went on.
Yep.
When he
Yeah.
was conceived.
Yeah. What music was playing in the background.
Yeah. On the real topic here, has anybody ever asked your parents if you were a mistake?
I mean, I've always known, just because, like I talked about, my mother was a drug addict and whatnot. My father's always told me, he hasn't always been in my life, but, like, throughout the later half, which we'll get into, he was. Like, Dad, what the fuck were you thinking? And he's like, I'll be honest with you, son, that's probably the last time I ever drank. And I was like, that's fair. So,
We've all
but,
been there.
Oh.
you know, it's weird how, like, you know, accidents happen and the greatest things to sliced bread like myself comes out, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, about that.
Sliced bread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I
sliced bread? Okay.
But no, like, I think that's more important to highlight on what like I said, those moments, because I could tell you right now, anybody you talk to, they could pinpoint those moments like that.
Yeah.
So, like, those moments where, you know, your life kind of took a 180, or, you know, those pivot points where it's like, you know, I was going this direction, but now I'm going this direction. I think that's not only easier to highlight, but it's a little bit more significant than, you know, just all the stuff in between.
I like to keep it as an example. You're going down a road and a fucking tornado comes through. And then you just got to start fresh.
My house is gone.
Yeah. Oh, man. My RC car set is gone. That's insane.
Damn.
Damn. All right, guys. So, so one of the questions I asked everybody is, like, who are they? Everybody has a unique story. Everybody has different backgrounds. Once again, federal cop, ex-police officer, future police officer.
Self-proclaimed astronaut.
Yeah, that's Jesus. Stop.
Yeah, identify.
Yeah. And then also me, a fighter, turning into entrepreneur and on all that. So, with that being said, is let's jump right into it. Let's recap a little bit on what Tyler was saying about his life story. He went from being a great kid, and then became a police officer. He was in the police for what, 10 years?
Law enforcement 10 years. Yeah.
Law enforcement, 10 years, yeah. And then now he's a security guard. How does somebody, obviously, it's we can call it not a downgrade, but it's kind of like in our eyes, we see it like kind of shameful, right? Like for myself, you know, I go from fighting in the biggest stage in the world in the UFC, and then you know, I'm in Mexico City at UFC 188, the arena packed yelling my name when I fought Drew Dover, and then all of a sudden I'm in an arena, I'm in a like small venue, civic center, like 1,000 people. That kind of like kind of affects you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you overcome that?
It was embarrassing at first. Then I kind of got over it, but just make money for the family. Oh, I gotta talk into this.
Yeah, that's way loud.
So yeah.
This took me off guard. That's how I sound? That's what you guys hear? I'm so sorry, guys.
You know what, man? You just gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was definitely, from going, in my eyes, law enforcement's way higher up than security. So being up there at the top, doing all the cool shit, to I'm doing cool shit now. I'm glad I went with where we worked, but still doing cool shit with guys that love to do cool shit as well. Obviously, I lost all that credit that I had earned, but I feel like I earned it back doing security.
I think the only difference is we just don't run red and blues.
We do the same job.
Like-
From doing it to not doing it, what we do now, it's the same thing.
Like,
Literally the same thing.
How many times has like Crockett come up and been like, I don't know why the fuck you guys do this. Like,
Yeah,
just
no.
you might as well just get paid by the city.
Definitely,
what
yeah. I
we
know.
do.
It's commanders. I know people that have come out and they're like, I would never be out here if I wasn't a cop.
And
Yeah, which makes me feel really great.
Yeah.
we have no liability either.
Yeah.
None of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
We'll try better next time.
Yeah. Learning lessons.
But no, it's a lot different. But the thing that, you know, I think we get a bad rep about it. And, you know, I talked to, shout out to Lucaria, talked to him about it. You know, the stuff that we do for
1630.
Yeah, 1630 call sign. So, oh, he's gonna love that. Love you, bud. But yeah, the way I was talking to 1630 about it is, like, the security work that we do, like we had stated before, is completely different than what people kind of have that mindset on. You know, I guess that vision of regular security, Paul Blart or whatever. just sit in front of Walmart and greet people. Like, I mean, we're taking people down, putting people in cuffs, breaking up fights, having to OC people, tase people
regularly.
Yeah, we've had to draw guns on people. Like,
Yep.
a lot of stuff goes down where they're stabbing, shootings, all that stuff that we're around, and we're right in the middle of it. You know, before the city of Phoenix shows up, if they ever show up. But the stuff like that, like, none of us that I know walk around like we're hot shots or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just another job. We're not here for the recognition or anything like that. So I think that's a cool thing. You know, I know that we preference that we do a lot more different stuff, but we're not here to gloat about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like yesterday, we had the situation where it was a mutual combat in the street. We can't really get involved. We watched for a little bit, and then once it got a little out of hand, we broke it up. And then the guy wanted to turn his aggression towards us.
Yeah, 6 different people came in and wanted to fight you guys.
Yeah, no. We ended up getting the guy on the ground. He hit one of us, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Took him to the ground, cuffed him, but the rest of the block wanted to defend the guy. So it was like a mini riot situation, but the team was solid and we handled it very well.
And here I am in my new role that is not official, and nor have I been offered it. FYI.
He's gone though.
He's gone.
Yeah, he wasn't there to enjoy the
Yeah.
excitement.
Here I am getting on shift, and I hear dispatch and headquarters talking about, where are all these body cameras on? I'm watching all the action. I'm like, God damn it, I missed it.
And then right after that, we went from super high pace action to nothing to that overdose. But we brought him back. He didn't die. So
To that, and then the assault.
So explain to us a little bit about how. Obviously, you don't do that, but the recognition in itself, you know, how do you overcome that? Like, besides, like, what do you do? Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, you spoke a little bit that you got the bottle, you were drinking a bottle, you didn't think it was a problem, but it was a problem to your family and everybody. How do you? What do you do?
obviously I listened to what they had to say. I didn't care though. The bottle to me wasn't a problem. It kind of was now that I think about it, that I'm not there no more. The doctor, I went to a physical and the doctor told me I needed to stop drinking or cut it down. So I stopped going to that doctor.
Yeah.
What does he know?
Yeah. So I reported his business.
Yeah, like what do you know? I know people that are addicts their whole lives.
Yeah.
They live long lives. So.
Yeah, like down on campus, all those guys smoking meth. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
it's medicinal.
Yeah.
or like
Some
drinking,
CBD.
drinking a
CBD.
bottle of hand
Yeah.
sanitizer and you're alive.
Did you meet that guy? The CBD? He said it was from
Yeah.
Peru.
Yeah, from
It's
you can't say that. Those
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we dealt with him. We put him in cuffs. We sat there for 2 hours waiting for PD.
They never
Yes.
shut up.
Mhm.
So, so guys, one of the biggest things that I take from that, and the reason why I wanted him to be on this show, is that kind of it generates upon me. Like
Resonate.
Resonate.
There you go.
There you go. See, I'm Mexican, vatos. It's because I'm going to Mexico City, so I've been getting my brain to be like thinking Hispanic.
Yeah, I love Ergo.
Yeah, la verga.
Ay, güey.
So one of the biggest things that stands out for me from Tyler is like, how do you do that? You know, because I went through it kind of like in my own little way, but it kind of means the same. It's just you're kind of going through the motion.
It's an identity crisis.
Yeah. And then you start kind of like you start numbing the pain by either getting into. How many of y'all watching this have gone through a situation where you guys start feeling like you're hopeless, like you don't deserve to be there, you deserve to be at a higher pace, or you deserve it, that other stuff. You see that other person has that job you want, that has that money you want, the car that he wants, and you're like, man, I'm better than that guy. And then all of a sudden you're like, what am I doing here? So that in itself tells me that that he's a great man. He stands for what he does, and he, you know, right now I think all of us in this era wants instant gratification. No matter what I do, I want instant gratification right now. I want everything. I'm gonna work right now. I want to get paid right now. I'll go to the gym, and I want to look good tomorrow.
I wish.
But that doesn't work. It's a constant repetition.
I found that out.
Yeah. So it's the constant repetition. It's like you go to the gym, day one, you're gonna be you lift nothing. You're not gonna show it, but you believe in the back in your head that it's doing something. You have to have that same belief every single day, no matter what you go through. And if you're going through something, every single day you gotta keep watering that plant. Keep, you know, that vegetable isn't gonna be fed, or isn't gonna be fully grown, or is gonna be ripe, or whatever fruit. It's not gonna be ready unless you water it every single day. Guys, and I thank absolutely everybody here, because the Naked Raw Truth came alive thanks to y'all. for the longest time, I would always talk about it. I think I went in like a whole year. My buddy Steve would always be like, man, do the podcast. Yeah. And I would be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And then now, you guys, I said, you know what? 2024 is my accountability year. I'm going to make it happen. And sure enough, we got together, we did it, we got it done, and it's not just my podcast, it's all of our podcasts. We all are part of this. We all will share our stories, and we all will motivate some of you guys, and they will, like, you know, guys, if it wasn't for you guys, this would still be a dream. So no matter what you're going through, guys, there's somebody having it worse, like you always say. And not only that, get up there and get it done. Because yesterday I said it. I did it tired. I did it sore. I did it scared. I did it nervous. I did it without no money. But it got done. And it's getting done. So, guys, thank you. Kudos to everybody, all right?
Yeah, and to touch on that, I feel like the way I try to look at it is, you know, you talk about how some people try to go to the gym and whatnot and, you know, they don't see progress or whatnot. But I dare you to find someone that doesn't go and lift one time and like, oh, shit, look at you. You know what I mean? Like, I see the progress already. Think about that in life, right? If you start to go towards your goal and you're making little steps, have that same mindset. Look at you, dude. Like, you're going for it. But that's always easier said than done.
Well, like I told you, it's little changes.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my sister last week, and she's trying to get back on the horse, and I was like, just first goal, just get up for a week. Get up at the same time every day if you go to work or not, and make breakfast before you leave the house.
Yeah. Thanks to you, jackasses. Guess who started making their bed now?
Have you started wiping your ass yet?
No. Baby steps. Baby steps.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's just like, because I'm like, oh, because I did the same thing. Just throw the sheet over and make it's made, but it's not like nice and what. I'm like, oh, these fucking jackasses.
How do you feel about it?
The first couple of days, I'm like, this is so stupid. And then after that, I was like, oh, whatever.
Feel good, right? Feels good. Come home and your bed's made.
I'm gonna be honest, it feels no different.
Really? Oh, come on.
Continue to do it, because now if I leave my house and my bed's a mess, I'm driving like, fuck, I should have done my bed.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
No.
Man, I guess patrol guys have it different, you know?
Now I drive to work and I'm like, did I charge my fucking flashlight? Shit. Did I make my bed?
Good thing you work during the daytime.
I mean, I guess to each their own.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's the small changes, because now you might just like I said, I was telling my sister, like, get up, do that, and then like once you've done that and you've accomplished that for a week, now, because you ever heard it takes 21 days to make a habit, takes 21 days to break a habit, right? So just it's literally just building habits, and all of a sudden it's just like after a month, let's say you've changed, I don't know, like 4 little things, and now they're all habits. That's literally going to like it's going to change how you think of things, right? Because then you're going to leave the house and be like, fuck, did I make the bed? Son of a bitch. Like,
I don't think I'm gonna get there.
Well, but like it's like that. Like for me, like if I don't get up, like the first thing I do whenever I wake up, I make something to eat. And if I don't, it completely throws my day off. Like if I don't get up, eat, take my vitamins, and like, you know, do what I need to do in the mornings, or what? Well, not anymore in the mornings, but when I wake up in the afternoon, the first thing I do, if I don't,
delinquent.
but it'll completely throw my day off. Like if I don't start it like that.
See, it's little things like that. Like I think Tyler's the same way, dude. I'm not a breakfast dude. Like when I wake up, I'm not like, God, I'm fucking hungry.
Nope.
You know what? Believe it or not, right now that I'm cutting weight and I'm like watching all my intakes and practicing and stuff, every morning I wake up and I'm super hungry.
Yeah,
like super hungry.
That's
like,
what happens when you have a normal diet.
Like,
That's what happens when you eat 6 times a day.
It's called breakfast.
Yeah. No, like it's crazy.
That's crazy.
They call that comida.
So one of the other things that I'm gonna add to that is, you know, big shout out to my buddy Rafa from CEO. Pause. You know, he pretty much said that, like, he's a very successful entrepreneur, and one of the things that he does is he does time blocks. So in the morning he does X amount, and then in the midday he does something else, and then at night he grows his company. So it's kind of like you got to do time blocks no matter what you do in life. If you want to exceed, if you want to get, you got to start living on a schedule. You got to start living on that like itinerary. Like we like to call it. You're on an itinerary. You wake up in the morning. You wake up. You do breakfast, and then all of a sudden, you go down the list. You know, when you go down, I made one change. I overwaste when I go grocery shopping. My kids would be like, oh, I want this, I want that.
Overspend.
Yeah.
Not over waste.
Well, I overwaste because I grab it and then we don't eat
Eventually,
it.
it turns to waste.
Yeah, and then I throw it. So I'm not getting no use out of it.
So you're overspending to what you need.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
We're gonna work on the English. Don't worry.
So that's one of the things that we do. See,
That's why he's not in charge of putting anything on Instagram.
Ooh.
Yeah. About that.
What about that?
Let me just, because I took a screenshot of this. Let me just read this out loud. I want you to let me know if this
It's
sounds
going
right.
to sound right to him. He posted it.
At the Naked Raw Truth CEO/cast member, Efrain Escudero. Go back into battle, February 23rd in Mexico City. 2 episodes out tonight. There's 2 errors in that.
2.
One,
Can you spot the hair?
Yeah, one, we didn't drop 2 episodes. So everybody hates us now.
Oh yeah, but who's fault?
You meant to put second episode, not 2 episodes. That means there's 2 separate.
But that's just you reading it wrong.
Hey.
You know, for someone who has really shitty grammar, I don't know why you're correcting anybody.
Okay, first of all, me and you. We'll have a conversation about that.
Wait, what?
You and I.
All right, so back again.
We
This
digress.
yeah,
Let's reel it back in, boys.
yeah, we're really back in.
Mhm.
Okay, so one of the biggest things is just one habit after another, after another, after another. So one of the things that I changed was when I go, so I don't overspend. I go to the ATM and I pull out money. I pull out money and I set myself, okay, this is what I'm gonna spend, and I make a list and I buy what I'm supposed to buy with the cash. Obviously, if we have leftover spending money, the kids will get like the cereal that they want. But
That's overspending.
no, like I set myself, like, you know, I try to budget.
If you make a list and you go past the list, you're overspending.
Yep.
That's like setting an itinerary list and be like, who the fuck made this thing?
Yeah.
Or he's just saying, which like you being smart ass is just I'm only spending 100.
Oh.
I'm only spending
Yes.
$100.
I'm only spending $100 and that's it.
Right.
So whatever we need, it's gonna be $100.
And then you
Plus-
get to 80, so you have extra 20, you just spend it.
And then I spend it like if
You
the
could've
kids want something. But if
Okay,
So if you get to 100 and your kid's like, Papa, can I get like
Papa.
a soda?
no,
No.
my kids don't even drink soda. Even if I
Can I
offer,
get a Umex?
no, they don't even drink that.
Bomb.
Bomb.
My kids, all they drink is water
That sucks.
by choice. Not that I want. Like I'm
That
always
sucks.
like they're like waters.
But I think with that, like, that's what makes, like, I guess you'd say, like, if you're on a diet, like, cheat days or whatever, like, it makes it, like, I don't want to say more rewarding, but the more seldom you do it, it means a little bit more, right? So it's like this diet, the carnivore diet I've been doing for the last couple months, like, when I, like last night I had pizza, like,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's true. We were on the phone.
Who does
last night.
that?
But anyway,
Breezer.
back to me.
Yeah.
So no, but like one, obviously, like you feel better with the diet and stuff like that. But like last night, like I'll usually like cheat 1 day a week, and so that I don't feel as bad for eating an entire pizza because I'm only doing it once in a while. But like it's like you work towards that, right? So like the whole week I'm like, oh, I've been really good with the diet. Like tomorrow I'm gonna have pizza, like, and then it's that reward system. It means a little bit more the less you do it.
Yeah.
So if you're eating pizza 3 times a week, okay, like whatever. But like if you're only doing it maybe once or twice a month, it means a little bit more, right? It's
Maybe
like
I'll
a
start
reward
having that
system.
mindset with the making the bed part.
Yeah.
If I only make it like once a week. It's a
Well,
little
that's
more
not a
rewarding.
reward. So
Oh, fuck.
the reward is coming home.
Yeah,
And having a
yeah,
big bed.
actually, that is true. The reward is, and so one of the other things I wanted to add on: a lot of us want to communicate with others, but we don't know exactly how to communicate with others. Sometimes we are too shy or too scared to talk to a friend or talk to a loved one or somebody when we're going through a situation. And the reason why I wanted to hit this topic before we got into who is Breezer and who is Tucker, is because earlier today we were at the office and we were talking. I was talking to somebody, and we were back and forth, and then just kind of like, how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with what was the other one? Anxiety, depression. How do you deal? And I'm pretty sure that all of us at one point have been depressed and have been really stressed out. How do you guys deal with that? Like, what would you guys tell anybody that's going through a situation that? I mean, obviously, we all have been stressed. We all been in bad situations. We all been, they've told us no a lot of times. And the other reason why I bring this up to all of you guys is because y'all work at the same place that you guys all worked at the same place that we work, and everybody there is one no from saying screw this. I'm doing whatever I want to do.
I think well the most important part, like I can speak from my experience, right? Like it's being able to recognize like when like your drinking's getting out of hand, or like, you know, if like I'll just say like when I got out of the military, I went through like an identity crisis, the same type of thing, right? Depression, and then, you know, the stuff that like I had career wise that I wanted to do, it wasn't working out. And then, you know, I got out during all this COVID, like right before all this COVID stuff happened. So it's like now there's no school, there's no work. So it's like now I'm locked in the house because there's nowhere to go because everything's closed. And I'm doing that. And then down the road, I went through a very like bad breakup, which just compounded onto all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not where I want to be. Like my life sucks. So, you know, just like I said, you know, clinging to not great vices, right? Like drinking, like I was pretty much like I say, like I was on autopilot. Like I was just waking up, going to work, going to the gym. Or waking up, going to work, coming home, drinking, going to sleep. Like it was just there was not that I was like getting like blackout drunk or anything, but again, it's just like I don't sleep, so it's like I need to do something to try to get some sleep. But like I think what's important is like recognizing that, and then just being able to understand it's like who's gonna make this change. Like I can bitch and gripe all I want. Like if I'm not one, like, you know, we're all men, right? Like odds are like if I got it, right? I don't need to talk to anybody. Like I'm good. Like if I need to, I don't have a problem with it, but I just, you know, we all I think have the same habit, right? Like no, I'm a man, like I got it.
No one's coming to save you.
Yeah, exactly. And so like with that mindset, like like I've gotten better about like if I need help, like I'll talk to someone, like I'll talk to my brother, you know, because, you know, my brother's in the military, he's a cop too, and yeah, touch on that later. But no. Like, I think just, like I said, being able to recognize it and then just going, okay, like, I need to make the change. Like, it's not going to come to me. Like, we talked about it last week. You're not entitled to shit. The world doesn't know you a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make a change, it's on you. You know, journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step.
So what do you recommend to those who are, like, you know, right now probably watching this in their home and they're, like, windows are closed and they're all, like, scared to even tell anybody anything?
Well, I've been there, right? Like, you don't even want to get out of bed. Like,
you're not alone, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I think, like, what kind of got me out of it, and again, everybody's different, right? Like, I know my mindset's different than yours mindset's different than mine, so on and so forth. But, like, the one, being able to recognize it, and then two, just, like, what got it for one of the things for me is, like, somebody out there's got it worse. Like, there's somebody out there who's going through something that would kill to be where I'm at, because maybe they're, like, terminally ill or they have something else going on. It's just, like, my situation's not that bad. I have a roof over my head. I've got food on the table.
You got 3 really great dudes in your life, you know.
Yep.
4. What about his?
Oh, we don't count you. 4.
Yeah.
But no, like it just gaining perspective, right? Like that's like taking a step back and like, okay, like does this suck? Yeah, but I can guarantee you somebody out there's got it way worse than me. I've talked to people who are, you know, like even at our job, I've gotten people who are literally, I'm not living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing. Like I might be depressed and going through all this shit, but you know, I'm not strapped for money. Like I'm not worried if I'm going to be able to pay rent at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Like that's extremely stressful. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's just taking a step back and getting perspective. Like, okay, like this sucks, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like I'll get through it. Like, and if I need someone, then I have people that will be there for me to help me through it. You know.
Well, you can call. I'll answer. Yeah. They won't. Shout out to O'Malley and all the crew over there for allowing me to go this past week to go train with them. I'll be there out there today training with them. So these are the guys that didn't answer.
I was asleep.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you touch on that? How do you get through?
Yeah. Why didn't you answer, huh?
Why didn't I answer?
Yeah.
Because men don't answer that question.
No, why didn't you answer his phone call?
The phone call? Because I have a life. I have a family. I think when you called, I was cleaning or something. I was doing something. I think I was washing the dishes. So
my phone was on sleep mode.
I heard it. I just didn't get to it.
It's not forgive us for not being able to.
Oh no, it's
think
fine.
That
it won't happen
we
again.
can go
it won't
train
happen
with
again.
MMA fighters.
I'm good.
It won't happen again.
Yeah, no, I ain't calling them again.
Let it happen again.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Correct.
Or like give us a text, like, hey, I'm gonna call you guys right now.
Yeah.
You're busy. Can you just...
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna call you in 30 minutes.
Yeah. That'd be great.
It was like, hey, maybe these guys want to say hi. Here.
I mean, I would love to.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have 30 minutes.
You texted after.
I don't think he was gonna be 30 minutes. I think he was like, hey, somebody wants to maybe say hi.
Usually when it's important, you call more than once.
No, it was like usually when it's like this, it's like they didn't answer it. Sorry, dude, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think I was in the middle of washing my ass because I don't wipe. But
all right,
I know
guys.
you weren't making your bed.
All right, guys. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. All right, guys. So how do you touch on this, like on this subject that we're talking about right now?
how to cope with that? Kind of goes along the same thing as Breeser. I've always been the type of guy, and it's extremely toxic, so I don't recommend it at all. I've always been the type of guy just to kind of like shell all that shit in and just, you know what I mean? I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm fine.
I did that a lot of my time, and the times I blew up.
It
all comes out.
It was bad.
Well, because it's one of those things like you can do that for so long, but because for me, I think, I know just based off my I can handle a lot. I could shove it down. Okay, cool. I'll deal with it at some other time. I know how to cope, right? But I think everybody's got their boiling point. I can shove it down for so long, but then and I've caught it. I'll snap. It'll just get to a point where I'm just okay, I'm fucking I'm not I'll blow up with anger, but I'll just
vomit everything out.
Yeah, right. I'll break down and it all just becomes too much. So again, it's just being able to recognize when there's a problem and dealing with your problems as they come along, not just let me just show us, because I promise you, it doesn't matter who you are, it's all gonna come back.
Yeah, and it always does, and when it does, you get done, you're like, what a bitch.
Yeah.
Well,
just cried. What a loser.
So one of the things that I do take I do take from this is, and as we were having this conversation earlier today, it's just when I went through my depression in itself, once again, I went through it, and still to this day, probably still to this day, I'm one of these people that I'm on the go. I gotta stay busy, because if my mind starts to wander, I'm a boy. I'm what the hell, So I gotta keep busy, and if I stay busy, I stay focused. And when I'm not focused and I'm not oriented, I'm a squirrel, and I start wandering around, and I shouldn't. But one of the things that I do is sometimes when I'm driving and I don't have the kids or I don't have nothing, and it's just that's when it kind of I sit down and I take that moment to embrace what I'm dealing with, and I'm going, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then as soon as I know I'm about to get to my kids or something, or get home or get to work or whatever, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go. You put on your game face again, So at times, man, and like you were saying, we all learn from our previous, our parents and everything, One day, I know my mom and my dad at one point did not want to work in the fields. Mm-hmm. So they went, when they were kids, they were like, oh, I can't wait till I'm old so I can go work and picking lettuce. No, they didn't want that. So why would I waste their entire life? Because they gave up their lives so we can live the American dream, which was whatever it is. You could go out there and get it. And you guys say it over and over and over. The world doesn't owe you shit.
Yeah.
So instead of feeling sorry for myself, I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? I got to do it. I got to come up. So yes, that's the way I deal with situations. And obviously, we all have a dark past. My dark past was different than yours. It's not saying that it was better or worse or anything like that, because in my eyes, it might have been the worst thing I've ever dealt, and you guys would have been like, man, stop it. Mm-hmm. So, but the biggest thing is, it's if you're going through something, no matter what you're going through, sometimes take a moment, stop, because I usually tell this to myself. I stop, I embrace where I'm at, because not long ago, I was way back there trying to get here. Mm-hmm. And at no point did I ever say, okay, I'm here, Is shit hard? Hell yeah. Every single day. Is things stressful? Yes, every day. But that's the cycle of life, and every entrepreneur out there will tell you. It's like, if you're getting it right every single day, you're not doing it. You're not challenging yourself, because nothing should be easy. And if it's easy, you get content. I learned more from a fight that I go in there and I lose, because I want to study that fight. I want to know what I did wrong. Mm-hmm. To where when I go in there and I just beat the guy, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I was supposed to do that. You know, you need to go in there and challenge yourself every single day. I challenge myself, even though that I can have 100 things in my mind. I can have a lot of things like stressing me out, like things are not going right, bills are not going right, pays, fights, like everything. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, I will hold it in. And now we have the naked raw truth to be able to talk about it. So,
but I think with that, like, I know a lot of people don't like being alone, but like you said, and I know kind of how I deal with stuff. Like when I need to, is like I think a lot of people don't embrace being alone. Like that's the time, like especially when I was overseas. Like if I was going through something, like I would just like take a minute. Okay, cool. I need to reflect. Let me think about like. I'll like put myself through the mental like situations like, okay, how should I deal with this? Like I gotta do this tomorrow. But I think a lot of people think like, oh, being alone sucks. Like no, not if you like flip it and you take advantage of like being able to understand. Because I tell you right now, like nobody understands me better than me, right? So I think like now I know how I deal with problems. I know how I shouldn't deal with problems. So if I'm by myself and I'm able to like reflect on that, like and being able to work it out with myself, that I mean for me personally, I know that benefits me, right? Because being like having the quiet, because I know we've all had days, especially at work, where it's just like I've been talking to people all day. I want to go home, shut the door. I'm gonna turn my phone off. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to hear from anybody. I need some time. Like I need a couple hours. I'm gonna eat something, watch a movie, whatever. Like I need to zone out. So
yeah, I mean I still do that to this day. I mean coming from work, there's several times where I've pulled up into the driveway and just sat there for like 15-20 minutes.
That's a man thing, dude.
Yeah.
It really is. Just
no music, no nothing. Just like blank stare. And then like happened a couple weeks ago is my sister's staying with me since they moved back till they get their house. And like I sat there for like 20 minutes. I didn't realize it. Yeah. And my nephew comes out. He's like, "Are you all right, man?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be in there in a second." Yeah. So then he goes in. I'm still out there 20 minutes. And then my brother-in-law texts me like, "Dude, are you okay?" Try to be. Just trying to decompress is all. So you got to take that time to yourself, though. I mean, like Breeser said, embrace the alone time. Nobody likes to be alone. I for sure as fuck hate being alone.
I miss it.
Hey guys, hey guys, to touch up on that. I know I wanted to bring that up, and I wanted to talk about it on this episode, especially because we're just starting to get new. I know that some of us feel that going alone and eating alone is bad. So I did something this past weekend.
Oh, he told me.
I was texting Breezer back and forth during this situation. I went to a club by myself. It was the most awkward situation I've ever been. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I don't know how to do anything.
That's because everybody that was there is 20 years younger than you.
Yeah. It was so I just wanted to go, and obviously I wasn't drinking, so maybe I wasn't on the vibe, or I don't know what it was, but I was just not. I was not there.
You're more of the Barnes and Noble vibe now. That's where you should be.
Oh my god!
With
Bingo at the casino.
Yeah, you're more of a Home Depot guy now.
Yeah.
But no, that's funny because like I've told people like I still do it. Like I go to the movies by myself. I go to like restaurants by myself, and it's funny because one of my Marine buddies. I was talking to him, and he goes, "Dude, why the fuck do you?"
What a pathetic loser!
And then he calls me, and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "I just went to a restaurant, had a meal, had a few drinks, sat down alone." He goes, "That was the best thing I've ever done in my life."
You get people watch.
Yeah, definitely.
I people watch everywhere.
Yeah.
But no, like it's. I think every once in a while, like you need your alone time. Like don't sit at home. Like I said, even now to this day, I'll walk up to a bar, have a drink, a burger, watch a game, or like I'll go to the movies by myself. Like
nobody's digging in your popcorn.
I had some good times there.
Exactly.
Alone.
Yeah, this guy would like kill for some alone.
No, yeah, like I miss it. I do miss it. I did. Wait, I was alone. What was it the other day when I hit you guys up? I ended up going to have some drinks. I had some cigars alone. Yeah. The same day you went out.
It's the same day. Yeah,
no, I love being alone. I love it. When I was a cop, alone.
Cool. We'll stop inviting you.
But I think that's different. Like when you have a family and stuff like that. Like you don't.
He's trying to escape it.
Yeah.
No.
Like I have plenty of alone time, so I'm just like now I need to not be alone so much because I was like I'm getting too used to it. I'm getting too good at it. This is not good.
I can't wait till this comes out. I hear her already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, motherfucker.
Like good things about being alone. Like you don't have to talk to nobody. Just do your own thing. I order what I want to order. And I was gonna pick out my food. I go to Applebee's, get 2 for $20. Get one, eat it there. Take one home.
Yeah.
The movies, do what I want. Like sit where I want.
Then you get a question, why'd you get 2 for $20, huh?
Yeah. What was her name?
Yeah. Who's that bitch?
Yeah.
So another thing I want to recap on that is, yeah, you guys are gonna be.
I'm in trouble now.
So one of the things that I recap on that. So I went out to the bar and I had a drink, and it was more of like me trying to observe, and not only that, but maybe I was dealing with a situation, right? So I was dealing with a situation, and I was like, you know what, I can do it. Like I could have called any of y'all, but I didn't. I called I texted Breezer and I told him, guess where I'm at? He's like, where? I'm at a club by myself. And he's like, what? What are you doing? And earlier, Tyler was at the same location, like just a different place. So I could have easily gone and hung out with him, or I would have called you, but I didn't. I just wanted to go and wanted to have that alone time and wanted that and it was good because then I got home. I kind of got the time that I needed.
Yeah.
I got it out of my system. Well, Breezer, then what did I do?
I don't remember.
I went for a run.
Oh, dude,
was
he
at
called
3 in the morning.
Yeah, he called
3
us.
in the morning.
Yeah.
I called them at 3 in the morning, and I got whatever inspiration I was looking for. I got it, because at 3 in the morning I was like, you know what? Instead of being at the club, I should have been out running. So I put on my gear and I went out and ran. Gave it a little 5-mile run at 3 in the morning. Cleared my mind. It was amazing. It was therapeutical, and I think that to me, it was.
It was therapeutic.
Therapeutic goal.
Therapeutic. So, but that in itself, to me, Breezer, you okay? So to me,
Maybe you should enroll in college and forget about this stuff.
You got hit too many times in the head.
Yeah.
dude, the funny thing is,
That wasn't
if I can
therapeutic.
hey guys, if I can graduate with a criminal justice degree, so can you.
Yeah, fuck, don't hand it out to anybody.
All you have to do is just show up.
Therapeutical.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That one down.
Oh, that was... I'm sorry.
Captain
Okay.
Therapeutical.
Holy shit. Oh.
So guys, whatever I was looking for, I found it. I took chances and I made it my own, you know? So officially, guys, take your time, go through the struggle, get some friends that will keep you humble no matter through and through.
It's embracing the struggle, though. Like,
Yeah.
because, like, there's a guy, I think his name is Eric Thomas. He's like a motivational speaker. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Does that sound right? That's his name?
E.T.?
Success to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I've seen his speeches, and it's kind of like you have to understand that, like, you're not like typical, right? Like you're not gonna get there overnight, but like embrace the process, trust the process.
Yeah.
Like he talks about one of the things from his speeches is like lions chasing gazelle. He's
Yeah.
like, do you think that they just chase it and get it? He's like, no, they like the hunt.
Yeah.
It's the hunt that gets excited, right? So it's like you got to embrace the process, like, because if you don't, like, you're just gonna be like, oh well, I've been going to the gym for 2 weeks, I'm still not seeing anything. It's like, yeah, okay, well,
Yeah, no shit.
yeah, you've only been going for 2 weeks, you know. So it's love the process, you know.
And not only that, to add to that, a lot of the times I made easy money because of autograph signings or something like. So we made that, and that money would, as soon as I would get it, I would blow it, just like it meant nothing. But when I go now to work, and I work super hard, well, not really, but I work, but I work.
We were gonna let you have it, bud.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. This is the naked raw truth, right? So, and then I work, but then when I work, and I have to be there, and constantly, when I get paid, now I put direction to that money, and I think that's what we got to do in life. You know, we can't just wake up, and there has to be more of life. There has to be more to life than just us waking up and going through the process like you did at one point, like you did, and you. So, guys, if you're going through something, know you're not alone. Know there's somebody else going through it, probably worse, and you'll get through it. Take it one day at a time. Take your time and embrace the process. And once again, I'm gonna add on to that. You're just where you're supposed to be. Right now, you're where you're at. You know, there's a guy, there's a lady, a woman, or somebody that was planning for today, going to sleep last night, planning for today, and didn't wake up. And you did. So embrace that, take that, don't take that for granted, and make that day count. So,
because we all have the same 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know like a small example for me, like when I really don't feel like going to the gym, like I'll go to the gym and I'll have some half-ass workout. Like I'm just like, that fucking sucks. But I tell you right now,
arm day.
Yeah. But no, like I'd rather have a shitty workout than not have left the house and just be sitting on the couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's little, like being able to recognize the little wins, and like Efrain said, like wherever you're at is where you're supposed to be. You just have to understand that you need to recognize that.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, again, going through the motions, like I said, I felt like I was on autopilot, but like you need to understand that someone else has got it worse. But again, you're the only one that can change what you need to change. Like that's it. You're not gonna change me. Like I'm not gonna get to where I need to be with you. You know, or like because of you. Because
we can motivate you, but motivation isn't shit. You know what I mean?
Well, again, like you want to always surround yourself with the right people, right? Because
Yeah.
if you surround yourself with fucking assholes, you're gonna be an asshole.
It's not therapeutical.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. So, but yeah, no, like you surround yourself with good people, but at the end of the day, recognize that it's like it's on your shoulders. Like no one owes you a fucking thing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you got to find that. I mean, to add on to the whole depression and whatnot, just find that group of friends, and even if it's just one person, like we go smoke cigars, and I feel like for us that's all of our way of winding down, and we're all fucking depressed probably.
well, I always think it's funny. It's like, yeah, I'm like upset. I'm gonna go fucking hang out and decompress by having some drinks. It's like, okay, but it's not the drinks. That's
No, it's the company.
It's the company, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like it's little things. I know, like for me, like there's little things that I like to do that kind of like make me help me decompress, and I think if you have those, and again, just good coping mechanisms, like constructive coping mechanisms, that's also like it's really important. Because I like, I don't know about you guys, but like for me, it's like little stuff. Like especially being in the military, you get used to like having like not a lot, and like being able to make do with very like the least.
Yeah.
So I know for me, like no matter where I'm at, I can always like find something that's gonna be like, okay, I can kind of zone out right now and just do this for a little bit. I don't need a lot, so.
And to me, that's why I still fight. That's why, because when I am, everybody says, man, I've been in the sport since I was 19. I am, going to 19 years. I've been 19 years in this sport. So with that being said, obviously I've had a lot of wins, a lot of losses, a lot of ups, and a lot of downs. I had probably more downs than I had ups, but in all reality, I think I had a lot of ups. I just was too blind to see it when I was in the high and just recognize it in itself, So wherever you're at, like right now, this is a high moment in my life because I got great people around me. I got a job. I got fighting. We got this going. I got other stuff going on the side. So with all that being said, it's yes, I'm busy, but it's a good kind of busy.
And you feel better.
Oh yeah.
That's why you guys give me shit all the time. You always fucking working. You always fucking. Because I can't hang out on the weekends. I'm always working.
Well, see, but one of the things is, I did it too. Obviously, once again, I keep giving kudos to Steve. Steve would always tell me, you have to make time for yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what you do,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to make time for yourself. And the reason is because we go on an everyday basis, and we're spending 40 hours plus a week.
Way more than that.
On somebody and helping somebody else achieve his goals. Like what are you investing in yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so you said it yourself. We all have those 24 hours, but you sleep what, 6 to 8? You sleep 6 to 8. You're already like we're down to like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Then you commute back and forth. That's another 2 hours a day if you don't get rush hours. So you're down to like 12. Then you go to work for 8 or 9.
Yeah, we work 12, so it's even rough.
So then all of a sudden you got 2 hours on account of.
Yeah.
And that's when you're investing into your family. You want your family to succeed, or your girlfriend, or your that's not enough time. So figure out a healthy lifestyle. For me, sometimes I had to take some time off where I'm like, even if I'm not going to work, we're gonna make money no matter what. We're always gonna make money to the end of our lifetime. We're gonna be in a deathbed one day saying like, oh man, God, please give me 1 more minute, 10 more minutes.
You can't take it with you when you die.
Yeah, to be with my loved ones, to be with my family. But then again, we're young now. Well, I'm young. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so. But one day we will be there.
I know those gray hairs in there.
Yeah, it's more than I do.
I dye my beard.
Yeah. So one day we're all gonna be there in a dying bed, and we're gonna be like, "Man, God, please just give us one more, 10 more minutes." But then we felt rich in time right now because we felt like we were invincible.
Yeah.
We're like, we can spend it like no matter what. One day we're gonna wish we had it back. And what did we do? We sabotaged it by thinking the world was against us. We were sad. We were angry at the world. Whatever it was, like, come on, man.
It's
just take a little bit of time and spend it with that loved one. Spend it alone. Go out to eat to that restaurant where you want to go. Buy that thing that you want to buy. I mean, obviously be smart about it, but if you're gonna make the money back.
Yeah.
You don't go spend $800 on studio equipment that you don't use.
Well, I think with that, like too, like I think saving money is important, right? You need to have a good savings, but then I also kind of see like, do I want to like have all this like money when I'm 65? If I make it to 65, and I'm just like, okay, well now I'm too old to travel. I'm too old to It's like, okay, like yeah, saving money, but I think balance. It's like, yeah, well I save my money. I have a budget, but I'm also like I'm 30 right now. Like I don't want to wait till I'm retired and 60 to be able to do stuff. Like yeah, how much harder is it to travel when you're 60 years old versus when you're 30?
You can't go climb up the steps to fucking some cool
like there's a lot of places I still want to go, and like I think it makes more sense to like balance, right? I'm not gonna just do all this and then try to do it later.
Yeah.
And then because again, like if I you buy a sports car when you're 65, you're like, oh cool, I got a good bright tire and I spent $100,000 in a car. It's like, yeah, cool, how long are you gonna be around to fucking drive that thing?
I don't know, but while I'm there,
drive
like piss out of
that
thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm breaking a lug nuts off that.
But I think it's just balance, like Efrain said. Like every once in a while, like when the last, I think I speak for all of us. I've only taken like one vacation like the last 4 or 5 years.
Dude, the only vacation I've ever taken was with my ex, and it was like the most glorious time of my life. We went to Washington, went to this place called the Gorges, literally the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life. And I remember sitting there, I'm like, what? Doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Never taken a vacation before. What the fuck am I supposed to? I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's every once in a while, like I'll go to somewhere and I'll just, whatever. Like I'll throw $100 down on a dinner for myself.
Yeah.
Like I'll get a nice whiskey, like an expensive steak or something. I don't know. But it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I will do that.
Must be nice.
It is.
To
He's
me.
talking about the alone time.
No, I'm talking about I have like 3 kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner's never less than 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's talking about him by himself.
Yeah.
That alone thing that you crave so desperately.
Yeah.
So for me it was I never actually take trips. I never take like actual vacation on my own. Like the last time I ever said like, oh, I'm going here, it was either because I had a fight or I did an appearance somewhere and they pretty much helped me, and I just ended up taking my kids. The last vacation I actually did was where I wanted to go, and I surprised is I took my kids to Disneyland.
Never been.
That is the worst thing you can ever do, guys. Disneyland is the happiest place if you're not paying.
Yeah. That's the best. Hey.
Yeah.
It's the happiest place for Walt Disney.
Yeah.
It is. Man, my kids went to my last commentator, Fubo TV, for Lights Out. We went to Long Beach, so we were out there, and the fights went well. My kids were ringside, literally ringside, while I was commentating. Didn't fight, didn't argue, watched the fights for like 4 hours. My kids are little; they don't sit for that long, but they did. And then afterwards, we went back.
Right amount of NyQuil, they'll do anything.
So then we go back to the hotel, and in the morning, I tried to surprise them. I was like, we're going to Disneyland. We showed up to Disneyland, and it was, this was when it became real. When you get to Disneyland, your kids are all excited, and they're telling everybody that they're going to Disneyland. And then apparently they have tiers. I don't know if you guys hear.
No, I've never been there. So.
Nope.
Okay, so there's tiers. Apparently, they only sell X amount. Like you can buy green or like tier 1, and you can only go that day. Like, so they didn't have any tickets. So we went there, and they're like, yeah, we have nothing. So wrong tier, and everything was super expensive, and I was like, God, my kids are here. Here it goes.
You started to beat the shit out of everybody?
No. I said it was like Dad of the Year. We're here in Disneyland. Let's go.
Yeah, I remember you came back, you're like, I spent way too much money.
Dude, it's if you have 2 kids, you're probably for however, like for a day or two, you're probably It's like $1,200-1,500.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It was.
Was it about that?
I ended up spending money on that trip. You know, it was like instead of making money, I ended up spending, but it was all worth it because my kids now could still talk about it. I mean, it's a year accountability. If you want it, just go out there and do it. Or like, see, I made up the money again. I did spend a bunch of dumb money on equipment that I don't use, but it happens. It happens, and you know, you gotta embrace the grind, embrace the highs as well as you embrace the lows.
But you did that with a vision.
Well, yeah.
So it's not stupid spending.
Well, yeah,
It's not
you were
simple.
trying to invest in yourself. Like it's not like you're being frivolous and just going just throwing money in the trash.
Yeah.
So guys, so that's a little bit of if you're going through it, you know, use our lives, use our stories to be able to find something within us and make it your own. You know, like somebody's always going to, a professor's going to teach you something. If I teach you how to change a tire, eventually you're going to make it your way. You're going to start with this lug nut. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're changing the tire. Figure it out. You'll get through it, you know. So now I want to move on to the next segment. The next segment is going to be like, who is Breeser?
Oh, that's such a nuanced question.
Who is Breeser? And the reason why I brought Breeser into this show was when I first met Breeser, he was an a-hole.
He was a little bit bigger.
No,
A little bit.
So I showed up to the. So I had just left my previous company.
He told us
So I show up.
Why are you getting so upset?
I show up to the office. The owner of the Dave, he's a friend of ours. He pretty much calls me and says, "Hey, come into the office. I want to talk to you." So I show up. I'm walking and I sit down. And I sit down probably about 15 yards. Or no, not
Just so you know,
that.
hey, just
Like
so you
that.
know, this is a safe space. We're here for me and Tyler. Here for you.
Yeah.
Tell him that.
So we
Tyler.
were about 15 feet away from each other, and I sit down. I see this guy. This guy had like super tight pants, and he was like walking
Yeah.
around like
Yeah.
Medium.
he's walking around like flexing and stuff, and then all of a sudden he's on the phone and then walks in, and then I stand up because proper, right? So I stand up and I'm like, "Hey," and he goes, looks at me dead in the face, like he goes, and ignores me completely, and then sits down and starts texting. At that point, I was like, "Oh, screw this guy. He thinks he's better than me." All right.
Here you are. Your parents picked lettuce for a living
Yeah.
just to get you that opportunity in this
Yeah.
country, and this guy
Yep.
is the one they meet.
Come on, man. I had just won the Ultimate Fighter. Well, but I had won the Ultimate Fighter. I was the head coach of the Ultimate Fighter. I've seen Machu Picchu, and then this guy ignored me, and I was like, "Oh my God."
So
What
here,
a piece of shit.
now I'll tell the real story.
Here we go.
I'll tell the real
hear
story.
it. Let's hear it.
How that happened.
Mhm.
I was outside. This is when I was at the office. I was outside on a phone call. It was for this job that I have now. Okay. So then hey, I'm gonna send you these emails right now. I need you to respond to them right away. Cool. So I walk back inside. I didn't even know he was sitting there.
Yeah.
You know how the office is set up. I walk in the door, and I started walking to where my office was.
Yeah, but you see everybody that's just sitting there.
No, because it was all the way to the right.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was
Okay.
walking to my office, which is to the left.
Usually I
And-
pay attention to my surroundings when I walk in somewhere.
Yeah, well, I knew who was in there. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I'm like walking around.
So you knew I was in there.
That's
I knew there were
yeah.
people in there.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm walking, and I'm not texting. I'm sending an important email. And so I go down, and I'm just like, okay, that had my focus. I'm like, yeah, this is for my new job. So
Yeah.
I'm like doing that. I didn't even see him stand up and go, hey. I didn't hear anything. This man makes it look like he said hi, and I was like,
I mean,
Like-
that's what I'm saying.
It sounds like.
that's not at all what
I'm so
happened.
focused on
That's-
me,
yeah.
I don't give a shit about this fucking guy that's in there.
And then I knew when I went back down to campus.
He showed up. So he shows up to campus, and they were pulling my current super. He was our supervisor at the time, Phillips. They were pulling him, and they were sending him to the office, and they were bringing this dipshit. And
Couldn't
my
cut
head,
it.
and this in my head, I'm like, oh hell no! I gotta say something. It's bowling.
Did you put your mouth guard in?
No. It doesn't.
Light work.
Light work. He won't even swing. So, so then I go in there and I'm like, hey, and I had to tell him something, and then he tells me that bogus excuse, and then he turns out to be pretty pretty cool after all. But not only that, the main reason why I actually got him on was because then I heard his story, his backstory. I saw how his depression was, how he dealt with it, how he coped with his whole come up. And not only that, but the relentless between he was trying to become a police officer over and over and over. Same departments kept telling him no, and he was refusing to give up, and until now he's an official member of a police station. So now, with that being said, it was that the so many no's for him to be like, nah, like, you're not gonna deny me. You're not going to deny me. And I think that's what I'm all about. If you want to achieve something, you just got to be relentless and go after it. So that's why. So let me ask him this: who is Breezer?
That's a loaded question.
Is that a nuanced question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Like, I'm nobody special. Like, I don't think I'm anybody special, right? Like, I just.
You're special to us, so thanks for that.
yeah.
We don't mean it anymore, so go
No,
ahead.
take it back.
No, I mean, like I said, I just, a little bit background with me. I won't go back to the night I was conceived and just go through my whole life like Tyler
Damn it.
did. Yeah.
He asked, "What do you mean?"
Okay. First of all, were
Say,
you an
bring it
accident?
back.
Yes or no?
No.
They planned you?
That's debatable.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was planned, but it was welcome.
You're supposed to be a girl.
It was
supposed to be.
supposed to be.
They're bummed out though.
It was welcome.
It was
Wait,
supposed to be
what?
Alicia Breezer.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I graduated high school, and I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have that much direction, so I was just like, what does everybody do? I'm just going to go to college. So I went to college and did all that stuff, and didn't really know what I wanted, so I was just kind of going through the motions, and I was like, all right. I was good at school. I was a good student, but I was, like, so fucking bored. I'm just like, all right, I need to do something. So I thought about joining the military, and I was like, let me just go check it out. And I walked into a Navy office, and I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of fucking stupid. And they were like talking to me. I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna scrap this one. We'll go back to the drawing board.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So then I had some stuff happen. Like, one of my friends was killed, and it kind of just put some stuff into perspective for me. I was like, damn, because he wanted to be a cop too. And we were like going up in high school and all that stuff. And I was like, man, I need to figure out, because I was like, that's what I wanted to do too. But then I was like, now he's not even gonna get that opportunity. Like, he wanted to, and who am I to justify like just going through the motions and not doing shit with it?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Part of, obviously it was for me, but then part of it was just like, I want to do right by him, right? He's not going to get his opportunity, right? So then, switched jobs, and I kind of just like dropped out of school. I was like, well, let's just hope this works. So I was just working, and so I walked into the Marine office, and I talked to my recruiter. At the time, it was Staff Sergeant Shank. Him and I still are in touch, and like we still hang out. And yeah, okay, well, no, but I like credit him to like I walked in, and he's, we still joke about it now, but I walked in and he was just like, so you want to be a Marine? I'm like, I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. I was like, so we like went through our thing, and, he gave me, like the Marine Corps office, they have like these little challenge, like square things, and they have like a bunch of topics on them, and he just goes, pick 2 of these. I'm like, what? He was like, what do you want out of life? Pick 2 of these. I'm like, I don't even remember what I picked.
Big booty bitches
Yeah.
and money.
Yeah, dude. I was just like, so I like do it, and then we go through the motions, and then lo and behold, go through everything, and I was just like, all right, cool. So like my medical screening got all good. They were worried because I have like hardware in my hand from when I broke it, but it ended up getting passed. So
T-Rex arms.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I ended up, I am probably the whole process of maybe like 5 or 6 months. So I enlisted, left for boot camp about four months later. Woke up that first morning after, and I was like, this was a fucking mistake. I'm like, it's 4 a.m. and I'm being screamed at. I'm like, what the fuck was
Mom.
I? Yeah, I was like, what was I? I need to come pick me up. Like,
Get the meatloaf.
no, but like my time in the military, I loved it. I always tell people, the Marine Corps, for all the guys and gals who know, like, it's a toxic relationship. You're just like, this is fucking terrible. But at the same time, you're just like, God, this is fucking awesome. Like, I would 100% go do it again, right? But with that, like we were talking about earlier, right? It's about the people you're around.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't give a shit what I was doing. Like, I was around some of the best guys I know, and we still talk every day. And, I think a lot of what I learned and went through in the military, I still carry with me, right? Whether, I don't know if I'm, like, super driven and ambitious or if I'm just too stupid to fucking quit, you know what I mean? But, I went through a lot of different things in the military. I was stationed stateside. I was stationed overseas. I lived in a bunch of different countries for a bunch of different periods of time. And you learn about, like, I know Efrain can speak. Like, when you go to places that like are completely foreign to you, that's a whole different perspective, right? I've seen third world countries. I've seen this. I've seen that, and I'm just like, I think a lot of the people like I think it's important for everybody to get out of where you live for some period of time. But a lot of people ask me, they're like, "Why do you come back?" And I was like, "Dude, I've been away for a long time. I've seen a lot of different shit." And I was like, "I want to be home. Like, I still want to travel and stuff." But I was like, when you leave for that amount of time and you're going to different countries and you're doing all that stuff, I'm like, you learn to appreciate where you come from. And I'm just like, I want to go back. But yeah, then I got out of the military. In 2020, I got out like literally a few weeks right before all the COVID stuff happened. So I got out and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to do all these travel plans I had, saved up a bunch of money, and then the world shut down. I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. So I was like, all right, well, now I don't know what to do, like, as far as, because I was going to go to school first, and I was like, that's not happening. So I was like, let me just jump right into this police department thing. Went through all that, all that stupid shit, and, the rejection, over the course of 2 to 3 years up to until, I got this job. And, I was just like, all right, kind of change things up. I was like, oh, let me go back to school then. Let me take a break from all this rejection. Let me go back to school. Let me see if I can just recenter, readjust, And so I did that. So I went to get my EMT cert, so I became an EMT, and I'm like, oh, maybe the fire department's kind of appealing. So I did that, but I was just kind of like, I was like, long story short, I want to be in public service. That's what I want to do. I want to live a life in the service of others. I'm sure, all of us can understand that. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to do, kind of like went through that, and I was like, all right, well, this isn't really for me. So I went back, I was like, I need to just focus on what I did. Like, I put all these years in. I was like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. And that's where kind of like all the depression came in, right? I'm just like, well, fuck, this isn't working out. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. Like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this. I don't, this is what I wanted. And then that's where, like, I really kind of went off the rails. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, my life's going nowhere now. Started drinking more. And then, down that road, like I said, I went through a really bad breakup. And I'm just like, dude, this fucking sucks. I'm like, man, like, I'm not making the money that I want. I'm not where I want to be in my life career-wise or even personally. Like, now I don't have my girlfriend anymore. Like, it was just an absolute recipe for disaster, right? So, kind of like took us towards, different steps. So, we were all working together, and I was just kind of like, I sit back after a while, and I was, like I said, clinging to some negative vices, and I was like, fuck, dude, I need to do something. I was like, so got back on the horse, started doing it. More rejection, right? Yeah. And so I was like, all right, well, fuck. So I just kept doing it. And then finally one day, like, I had a buddy reach out to me who I work with now, and he was like, hey, dude, they're hiring. He was just go down there. And I was like, that's it? Like, so I walked, drove down there. And was like, hey, heard you guys. Y'all,
my name's Breeser.
Yeah, y'all hiring? So I went through that process, and, lo and behold, that was...
Ignores the shit out of me.
Yeah, well, be better. Like, use your man voice next time. Maybe I'll hear you. So...
Okay.
But no, that's what I think is so weird is, like we talked about, like you mentioned it a little bit ago, wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. So like that time, like, again, like it just, that day he hit me up, and I was about to just be like, no, fuck that. I was like, yeah. I went through that, and I was like, pfft. But then like I went home that night, and I remember thinking, I was like, fuck, man. All right, well, what's another rejection, right? Fuck it, whatever. So threw my hat in the ring, and like I said, that one happened to be the one that worked out. So, like, I think all in all, like I said, I don't know if I'm ambitious and I like working hard, or if I'm just too dumb to quit. But I, had to have that realization, like we were talking about. Like, I am not about to just let the last, at that point, 7.5 years of work that I put in. I left home. I sacrificed, my body and fractions of my mental health, being in the military. So I was like, that's just going to go to waste. Like, all those hours in the gym, making sure I'm staying in shape. So, like, when I go do these tests, like, I'm outshining everybody with how fit I am, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was just like, I can't, I'm not satisfied. And even now, like, I'm sort of where I'm at right now, but I still have stuff that I want to work to. So I'm not done. Oh, I got it. Cool. We're done. Good. No. Like, there's still stuff that I want to do. Hopefully at some point buy a house in the near future. But like little things like that, like I'm still not satisfied. I got where I wanted to be, but I'm like, there's way more that I still want.
Where you're at now, does that satisfy like what you wanted, like ever since as a kid, right? So I know that you're federal police, so obviously we're not going to name the place, but basically you watch $2.3 million worth of
it's
way more.
equipment.
That's like one.
Yeah.
No, billion.
Oh. No, it's way more than that.
I mean, on one airfield at the same time.
No, it's like
Okay. Anyways,
but yeah.
you watch all this equipment, right? And
They don't use it though.
yeah, I mean,
They fly them in Yuma.
I really don't want them to use it.
I mean, like I understand where you're going with that. I mean, like I said, our last job way more eventful than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, but like, are you going? So I guess what I'm trying to get. Do you think you're going to be happy with this, or are you going to try to continue to go after what your original goal is and try to lateral out to a different department?
Like, I might. Like, it just depends. Because again, like right now, like the most important thing for me, like all the cops we know, especially from work, they're like, dude, at this point, it's like just get fucking hired somewhere.
Yeah.
Just get hired somewhere. It doesn't matter what. If like if you have to go to Flagstaff, Sedona, wherever he goes, just get your. So like that's how I kind of look at this now. It's like, yes, it's sort of where I wanted to be, not exactly how I pictured it, but my foot's in the door. So
Yeah.
now, like with this, are gonna come opportunities that I didn't think I was gonna have with my original plan. So I'm just like, oh, let me just orient towards that maybe and see where that goes. So like now that my foot's in the door, and like even now like at work, I'm getting these opportunities which could lead down this path, which might be pretty cool. I know him and I have talked about it. Like, so I don't know. Like, you know, I'm definitely gonna want to stay in this career field, but now some of the opportunities that I never kind of even entered my mind, now they're kind of like, oh, that's a little bit more practical, a little bit more realistic now. Let me just see that. So like right now, I'm just kind of, I'm going with the flow. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and what I'm just gonna, you know, still working hard, but like some of these opportunities, I'm just gonna kind of let them come to me as they come.
Cross the bridge when it shows up.
Well,
cross that bridge when it shows up.
Exactly. You know.
So one of the biggest things that I take from Breeser is he's very humble on everything that he does, and not only that, but I have a bunch of friends, well, some acquaintances and real friends that say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go be a cop, and they go become a cop, and they say, oh, I'm gonna be a teacher, and they go and they become a teacher, like if it was nothing, like, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a correction officer. Oh, I got turned down. I'm gonna, believe it or not, I did. In 2000, when I was going through a breakup, I said I'm gonna go to be a detention officer, and I said, I'm only talking by experience, right? I said, you know what, I need a real job, and they asked me on the interview, how many times have you used drugs? And at the time, I smoked over like 7 times, you know, in my life. So I said about 7. The guy looks at me straight in the face and says, how many? 7. He's all like, sorry, man, you're disqualified. The 3 is the max. So I was like, God damn it. So I got turned down. So that in itself kind of made me feel like bad, you know. So on Breezer, to touch on Breezer, it's just like that determination. Because I could have been a correctional. I could have been doing something else if I would have just stayed with it. But to me, it's like, you know, this whole fighting, to me, I save it because it's my therapeutic. It's my therapy.
It's therapeutical.
Yeah. To me, it's my therapy. It's the only time I'm free. That's my alone time where I can be myself.
Yeah.
I don't play video games. I don't do anything like that. I like to just kind of, I like to be alone, but I also like to be with my kids and enjoy time, you know, like that. So on Breezer, that is actually one of the things that stands out for me the most. I don't know if you guys, what you guys find appealing, or when they tell you no, how do you take it? How do you react? I believe that, you know, a no is just an opportunity to try something bigger. You know, it's just that door wasn't the one you're supposed to open. Well, the next one's gonna open. Watch, and if it doesn't, just keep trying the next one. So tonight I'm gonna go to the bar and I'm gonna tell every single girl, hey, you wanna go? Wanna dance?
Accuracy is not the same. That's not the same.
Eventually, one is gonna say yes.
Eventually,
Right?
you're gonna hit the target. Like,
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I think
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not getting it.
No, but like the constant rejection, like, don't get me wrong, like it sucks. Like I could tell you,
It's a gut punch.
Dude, it's more than that.
Because you get out of there and you go sit in the car and you're like, God, what the fuck just happened?
Well, like, and again, like we talked about, you know, I feel, you know, like, again, I don't say, like, being in the military, I think is, like, I don't want to say it's, like, super high up, right? I've met some scumbags in the military, and some people say, like, oh, that's the male equivalent to just becoming a stripper.
Yeah, but let's not downplay that. The fucking, like, the Marines is, like,
yeah, but like,
yeah.
And I think that's for me, right? Because you become, like, a part of that, right? Because obviously, like, without sounding so cliche about it, like, you know, the culture of that is way different than, like, the other branches, right? So then, like, you know, you're told, like, you're the best, do it, like, you know. So then, like, when I get out, like, right, I was putting on the uniform every day. It's like that meant something to me, like, without sounding, like I said, so cliche about it. But and then, like, you get out and, like, you know, it's just like, all right, cool. And now I'm going to do this. I'm going to like try to do this, and I'm going to be wearing a different uniform. And then it just doesn't happen. Like you said, it's an identity crisis. You're like, yeah, I was doing this job that's admired by a lot of people, and I loved it. But I was like, I need to move away from that. But then it's just kind of like, now I'm down to nothing. I'm back at the bottom of the barrel. Like I'm not putting on the uniform anymore. Like I have no purpose. And for me, that was the biggest hurdle I had to get over. Is like, I have no purpose. Like if I'm just here, like I'm depressed now, I don't want to get out of bed. Like I'm constantly being rejected. Like what the fuck is my purpose? Like I have no reason to get out of bed. Like I've got no reason to leave the house. Like, oh, I'm gonna work out for what? Like I'm constantly being rejected. Like me putting in all this effort, getting me fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. So, that was huge for me. Like I need somewhere to be. I need someone to need me. Like I need to, like, and then that's where, like, you know, where we were working. Like that was my first job out of the military, and then, you know, I think where we were working was like, okay, now I feel like that sense of purpose again, right? Like there's a little action going on here that we're getting, like, and I was like, okay, well now I've got somewhere to be, like, and so getting that job was like huge for me. I know, like it was kind of like Tyler knows, it was a gut punch. It's like, okay, well, I feel like I'm downgrading, right? You're not downgrading, you know, like a job is a job. You know what I mean? Like if you everybody's got bills to pay. Like it doesn't matter how you get your money, right?
As long as you're working, I think everybody's like, I mean, it might be a shitty job in your opinion, but like you're doing what you can to provide for yourself and your family, or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. Like, and so, like, you know, that was huge for me. And then obviously worked there for a couple of years, but you know, the opportunities that I got there, the people that I met there, the things that we did there, like that in itself, like, started to level me back out. And that's a big thing that got me back on track, is because now I've got a purpose again, right? I'm here, we're doing this, I have somewhere I need to be. It might suck at times, but like you have to, like a lot of people, you need to find your purpose.
You know what? And I'm gonna give some respect when respect is due. Jesus actually was our supervisor yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. He was our supervisor. He went from the first time I ever hit, we call it the yard, right? It's the first time I went to the yard, and I was walking around, kind of like giving a little tour. He kind of guided me, taught me like the ropes, right? Like he's like, this is where you stand, this is what you do. Obviously, I know how to carry myself as a professional when I have to, but when it came down to like knowing the ropes at our job, he was the one. And yesterday, I believe he did a great job, and he was running the show. So, Jesus, I know you're behind the scenes, but you did a great job yesterday, and I'm gonna give you this respect to everybody. Guys, everybody out here, you guys, I've learned something from every single one of you guys. And Breeser, what you just said right now, just getting back on your high horse, you know, getting back on the horse, whatever it is. You find your purpose in the muddiest of the muddiest, you know, wherever it is. There's something more to life than just waking up, feeling depressed, or when you start feeling like you're part of something, you're accountable to being something, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm part of something now. Yeah. I'm part of a group, and my whole life I've been like that. So now you're with the police department. Biggest thing that you've done is you never gave up, and it was your goal, and nobody was going to determine to take that away from you. Mm-hmm. So you're about to be you're going to apply here soon, and we're going to get you in shape. You got one of great mentors here. I'll help you in the physical part, but I don't know anything about what they know. So
if don't let him help you with like the test you need to take.
Don't.
I actually did pass it, by the way. I did take.
Do you know what it's called?
Did they put it in Spanish?
No.
Do you know what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, but I did take the the police test.
Yeah, well, you know, there's like Phoenix. Reading comprehension on there because you have to be like good with grammar.
Well, I can read, like, but I can't really speak. My mind is in Spanish right now because I was doing a Spanish commentary, so I've been like just listening to straight Spanish stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Hola amigos, bienvenidos.
Yeah.
No, so guys, back again. Find your purpose, whatever it is, no matter what you're doing. And today, obviously, we want to hit on who Tucker is, but I just want to leave you guys with this: the Titanic did not sink because of the ocean around. The Titanic sank because of the water that got into it. So you don't know what somebody's going through. Be nice to that person. Just saying thank you, remembering manners, being polite. that goes a long ways.
Saying hi to someone if they come into the office.
That
they
is
say hi to you.
that is high. That's very
Well, it's a big
important,
one.
especially if they go out of their way. It'll be like hi,
Yeah.
and
You have to like. It's got to be a little bit more than that.
Well,
You guys want to know a fun fact real quick since you mentioned the Titanic?
Oh, here we
The
go.
pool in the Titanic is still filled with water to this day. Fact of the day.
I hate it here.
Ashley wanted me to throw those in there.
oh,
He's
okay.
not wrong.
I got seawater though.
Yeah. Amelia Earhart's still holding her breath underwater right now.
It's a world record.
Yeah. She's still going.
All right, guys. All right, let's bring it down, guys. Let's bring it down.
No, but I think with the purpose thing, I want to touch on like everybody, like, and I know for me, right, my position's different than everybody else's. So, you know, my purpose, like your purpose, right, like providing for your family, right. But you might also have, you know, your personal purpose, right. Like I want to get back into, you know, doing law enforcement and stuff. So like I don't want anybody to think that like you just have one single purpose. And your purpose, provide for your kids. That's like number one. But at the end of the day, like your purpose is fighting. Like I want to do this. I want to be involved with this. It's in some facet, whether it's fighting, commentating, well, whatever the case may be. So, you know, it's not just like, oh, I got to find one thing I'm supposed to do. Like, no, if you're working and like you might not like where you're at, but if you have a family and you're going to work and you're like, well, this job sucks. Like, well, your purpose is to provide for your family first and foremost, right? So, I don't think getting fixated on like, you know, I know for me, like success to me doesn't mean the same thing as success to you or you.
Yeah.
Like, so.
It's fair.
So, guys, somebody once wrote this, and I would hope you guys all take this for what it is, okay? And if you do this, it's gonna help you a lot in life. It's gonna help you a lot. It helped me. It helped.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. He just started laughing. I don't know.
So guys, so one of the things is I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't know what my purpose was, and somebody sat me down and said, "Hey, okay, Efrain, what is your ultimate goal of what do you want to achieve in life?" So then I said what I wanted to do. I wanted to become and I'm gonna share with you. I want to have $1 million in my bank account by the time I'm 40, and I will have it. And one of the biggest things that I said is like, why do you want that money? So understanding the purpose behind of what I wanted. I want quality of life. I want to be able to get my kids and be like, you know what? I'm gonna take 2 days off of work, a week of work, and we're gonna enjoy it and not have to think about it, because I didn't have that as a kid. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't.
Tyler did, but
yeah. So I didn't have that as a kid. I didn't have my parents there all the time, you know. So I want to create that for my children. But one of the things that I said is, okay, so then we picked somewhere around the map, and like they brought up a map, and I put it in Lincoln, Nebraska. I have no idea how to get to Lincoln, Nebraska, but they put a pin right on Lincoln, Nebraska, and they said, okay, if I give you a car right now, a car, gas, and I give you a keys, and I told you drive to Lincoln, Nebraska, that's where your goals and your dreams and everything is at. So then what do? I said, I start driving. I was like, where do you drive? I was like, I don't know. Well, I drive here to Tucson, and then I GPS it. Well, GPS will translate into writing down exactly your game plan. Like, how are you going to get to where you want to go? And then you have to do a list, okay? Then you're going to do a list of wants and needs. Your wants. I want a wife, but I don't need a wife to get to Lincoln, Nebraska. I need food. I need food to survive. I need gas. I need let's be more realistic on this metaphor. So you start telling yourself, what do you want? I want to be successful, but I want to go out on the weekends. Does that add up? No, right? So yeah, I want to go out and hang out with friends, but I got to be at work. Okay, so let's cancel that. So let's go back to my previous relationship. Okay, I want a girlfriend, but I don't need a girlfriend. I already have kids, right? I know how to cook for myself. I know how to do everything that I can do. So one of the biggest things that I take from that is I don't want one, but if things happen, like Breeser, you mentioned it, you went through a really bad breakup or something like that, and you go through a depression, well, yeah, it sucks and it burns, but it's not going to deviate me from my actual goals. I'm going to get to Lincoln, Nebraska, because that's where my goals is. I don't know how to get to Lincoln, Nebraska, so I would GPS it. I write it down. Sometimes in life, we end up in Portland saying like, oh, I'm going to Lincoln, Nebraska. And you're like, well, you're just cruising. You're San Francisco. And then you're like, you're like in South Carolina and like you're like, I'm looking for that. Just put direction to where you're going and drive there. Like 2 roads. There's the 101 wants and the 202 needs. Which one are you gonna take?
I love your analogies.
Yeah. So just take one, and it doesn't matter. Just get there, figure it out, come up with it. Take your time. Whatever you got to do, you can do it. I know it sucks, and trust me, it fucking sucks. How many times have you cried yourself to sleep at night and you're like, fuck, this fucking sucks.
It sucks, dude.
Like, you know, for me, even like when my kids are not around, I would cry because I couldn't have my kids because I was going through a custody battle, and I'm like, God, all I want to do is just be a parent. But then sometimes it's just like, oh, take a time out, you know, relax, take a chill pill. You're gonna see your kids, you're never gonna lose them. So if you're going through custody battles, you're going through divorces, you're going through work fired you, somebody wrote you up, whatever. Somebody didn't say hi to you, like whatever it is, you're gonna get through it.
Did you cry yourself to sleep when I didn't say hi back?
No, I wanted to fucking beat his ass up, you know. It's like, oh, you're so smart
You
now.
wanted to eat his ass up? That's crazy, dude.
Whoa.
Well, here, let's
He's on
make
a
this
diet.
one clear. You know, they're very smart, so I'm gonna ask them one question and one question only.
Oh,
Can you beat me up?
I have no idea.
Well, they all got guns, so fuck yeah. No,
I don't even need a gun.
fighting.
Here's the thing.
I'm not fighting any of them.
Do I have the confidence that I could beat you? No. Am
I
I
do.
still going to do it, though?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, we'll film it.
That's fine.
Tomorrow, we're sparring.
That's fine.
You can't even get your
I'll
leg.
go last.
Yeah, just make sure you don't kick me in the leg.
Wait, what?
You can't kick people in the leg.
I can kick you in the calf.
Karate combat style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
And I can get my leg higher than you, so we already know.
Well, yeah, we know why.
He's just jealous. I already told him what my first move would be. So
Suck him off.
yeah.
Guys, so I don't want to take more of your time, guys, today. Next episode, we will talk about who Tucker is. Tucker, please just elaborate a little bit. You are now the patrol guy?
Unofficially.
Unofficially, the new patrol guy?
Holy Jesus.
Patrol.
Why would you leave campus?
Yeah, because I walked in, I said, you know what? I can't stand these fucking guys anymore, so I need to get out of here.
I agree with that.
Fuck, that's why he became like, fuck.
That's not how that happened.
Yeah, okay.
So the way that it started is I kept letting them know, hey, for my overtime, because I don't want to go work campus at overtime, because during the week I'm like, I can't fucking wait to get out of this place. So I said, hey, let me do patrols. Kept bugging. Lo and behold, someone got injured, and they're like, hey, we need you to cover for this week. Cool. Did that.
When is the Friday, Sunday of that week?
So, well, that was what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So, but it's not official for sure, but it's definitely a nice break, and you kind of get it's like a different view on the company or a different view on life, right? It's different scenarios that you put yourself into, but Daddy misses campus because that's where the action's at. So, but it's unofficial for sure. Shout out to Jesus for taking over, covering for me when I'm not there, and Tyler decided to call off, so left the campus all by itself.
I didn't have a babysitter.
Yeah, okay. So shout out to Jesus for picking up the slack. Appreciate that, bud. But no, just doing something different, which is nice for right now. But at the same time, like, you kind of know where your home's at. So
let me ask you a question. So we're not getting too much into depth to our next episode. How are you doing?
how am I doing?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I'm doing pretty good right now.
Hey, how you doing?
Can you let him answer the question?
I'm fine. I'm okay. Doing all right. Kind of making our way through. We have a lot of stuff that's coming into play for, pushing forward through the career for PD. I got a ride up coming along with his brother, his shitbag brother that he says. But to me, he's a nice guy. So got that going on, and then got another one set up with the guys down at campus. Everybody knows Scotty, so setting that up with him and people down at 800, which is Maryville. So we're kind of setting that process up to get back into that environment, get that mindset even further. And then with the training with you, going through with that, So we're definitely making a lot of plays. I did have to kind of take a reflection on myself, like you said. Yeah, I'm always working, but what have I done for me?
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like a humbling part, right? Because in my mindset, I'm like, I'm working, I'm constantly working. Yeah, overtime's nice, the paychecks are cool and whatnot. You'll be able to stack up for savings, whatever the case may be. But like you said, like what am I doing for myself? You know, I'm not moving forward into where I want to be. I'm moving forward into helping someone else out with their company, which isn't a bad thing. You know, I'm not, you know, bitter about it or upset about it at all. I love that opportunity. But you have to kind of pivot and, you know, figure out what you want to do for yourself and how you're going to start there. And sometimes the biggest, you know, step is just taking that leap. And like I said previously, I've always had an issue with like taking leaps. Like I've always second guessed myself, question like, fuck, should I even be doing this? I don't even know if I should do this. It sounds stupid. But you just have to take that leap of faith. And once you get there, you're like, this is fucking cake. And now you're, you know, you start that process. So
do you think jumping back into like doing all that stuff is going to give you like that extra kick in the pants to like start training with him and like, you know, like kind of reignite that fire?
Yeah, I think I'm in a spot now where, I mean, the biggest issue for me for the whole PD thing, like I explained, I thought I was doing what's best for my daughter. Mm-hmm. She's 8 now, right? So the biggest thing for me is like, I wasn't going to be there, you know, having a shitty schedule, working graves and weekends for PD and cutting that time with her, you know, and as you two know, once they're in that young age, like I swear to God, she was just born like yesterday. Like it does fly, and as cliche and dumb as it sounds, I've always hated that as like without having a kid. I'm like, that sounds so stupid, but it's so true. Like 8 years have flown by. I'm like, what the hell? And now she's got her own little personality, and like I'm so proud of what she's becoming now. But it's like, fuck is this?
Just wait till they're 11. They show up at your buddy's house and they're having sleepovers and you don't even know.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. That sounds like a dad thing. Dad's never in the loop.
No.
Yeah. I got a picture. We're like, hey, look who's here. I was like, what the?
Yeah, and I remember FaceTime you guys like, oh, that's crazy. My daughter would have loved to be a part of that, but I guess
I wasn't even there.
I didn't know.
I didn't even know.
I came back and they were there.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's stuff like that, and what you had mentioned. Yeah, I feel like getting into this process, because as cliche and dumb as it sounds, like getting that process, doing those ride-alongs, being around that environment, you put yourself around the people that are doing what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. And as dumb as it sounds, like, dude, that gives me such like a hard on for that.
Chub.
Like you're just like, fuck, dude, this is amazing, and you're not even doing it. You know what I mean? Imagine how you're gonna feel while you're doing the job and actually get to where you want to be. So, and everybody that we have around us, around campus, all officers and whatnot, like they're the greatest people to be around. They're motivational. Like hey, we fucking need you guys out here. We're tired of coming here and seeing you guys in that uniform. Like, we need you on our streets. Mm-hmm. So that's even a bigger, you know, boost as far as the motivation goes. But again, it's not about motivation. It's how you know, execute that. So we're going to the right spot. I'll be training with Captain Karate over here, Mr. Therapeutical. And
we have Cobra Kai too. So if you ever want to get serious about this,
well, and that's the big thing too. When you go into like that line of work, right? They say like the know your why. Why do you want to do this? Yeah, thanks. Why do you want to do this? Like, what are the reasons behind it? It's like, oh, is it personal reasons? Is it, like, you know, obviously for you, like, I think we can all speak to that. It's like the same thing. It's like, oh, well, I want to do this. This is what I've always wanted to do. And then now you have on top of like, I want a better life for my kids, and I want, you know, I want to be able to provide more. And you know, the age old, like, I'm giving my kids what I didn't have. Obviously, I know I don't have kids, but you know,
it's just like I think the why for me is, you know, at a certain age, you start to get to the point where you're like, I'm kind of going nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like, am I too dumb to quit? Like you said, right? I think everybody kind of has that mindset of like, I'm not gonna fucking quit. It's for losers. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you look at it and you're like, okay, so do I want to do this because of bettering my kids' life, or do I want to do this for me? And the way that I look at it is like, for a certain amount of time, I was like, put that on the back burner, and then I woke up one day and part of it was going through a bad breakup like you did. And you know, you just wake up one day and you're like, just remember back to that little kid that you were and what you promised that little kid that you were going to do, which was yourself. If you could go back in that time and your kid self saw what you're doing now, would they be like proud of you? Or like, would you be upset with yourself for being at this age and not being where you wanted to be? So you kind of just got to make that turn for yourself and make the time for yourself, which is, I have a terrible habit of not making time for myself.
I think we all procrastinate though.
Yeah, we all do.
And I think at some point, like, you get to a point like We were like, oh, dude, I'm fucking 30 now. Like, what's the point? Like, I'm too old for this shit.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
I
said that last week, you know? So, if people became more successful, like, later in life.
Yeah.
You know, and to add on to that a little bit, you're not too old, man. I learned a lot about you at a personal level and a professional level. The way you carry yourself, and including, like, I don't know, on situations, I know we dealt with a situation where a guy was refusing to let go of the knife, and we drew tasers, or you drew tasers, and I was like, what do I do? You know, I didn't know. I know how to fight, but I didn't know how to carry myself in that situation, and I think you handled it correctly by guiding me instead of, like, you know, you were able to teach me how to go into that situation without me being like, oh, bluntly, like, oh man, let me see the knife or something like that, you know. So
I can just see that. Like, everybody's got some dangerous dude at taser or gunpoint. Efrain's just sitting there, just like, oh.
You know
I
what?
mean, so it wasn't necessarily like that. I mean, to kind of touch on that briefly, Jesus is part of that as well. PD was dealing with another situation outside of the gate, and I had that lady that always comes up to you and snitches on everybody.
Sorry.
Yeah, she came up and knocked on the door. I was like, oh, here we go. She's like, there's a guy over there with a knife, and like he has it out, and he's like falling on himself, and then he's falling on other people with it. So I was like, well, here we go. Let's see what this is about. So at first, when I came up to him, like, he seemed like he was out of it, but almost seemed like he wanted to fight or flight, right? So at that point, I'm by myself. So first thing that on my mind was, okay, take a step back, you know, hand on lethal just in case this guy decides to come at me. And then you kind of, you know, you address the situation how, you know, it presents itself. So the stuff that you pay attention to, I looked at him and noticed, okay, this guy's not necessarily all together, whether he might be drunk, whether he might be mental illness, whether he might be on drugs, whatever the case may be. But he didn't seem to be a complete threat to where I needed my firearm out. So let go of that, had taser drawn at that point, radioed for, you know, another unit to come over. He was first on to come back. And like you said before, you're like, hey, what do you want me to do? So after that call was done and over with, everything was handled perfectly. PD came, took care of it. Thanked us for handling it the way that we did, where nobody got involved in the shooting, anything like that. So I pulled you and Jesus aside. I said, hey, future reference, kind of broke it down, right? As a supervisor position, I'd rather myself, even though you're armed, I'd rather myself be the one that takes that shot if I would have to go lethal versus you have to do that, right? So if in that kind of situation, I'll let you know, if I'm lethal, I'd want you to be less lethal and him less lethal, just as that backup part, right? Even though it didn't go lethal, I had my less lethal out, I still wanted yours out in case, God forbid, mine failed. Or I had to go hands-on, and therefore I can't use my less lethal anymore. But it wasn't like a, hey, you guys fucked up on this, you know what I mean? So being part of that, you know, is that supervisor position, knowing like the certain times to be like, hey, you fucked up on this versus we did fine. What you guys did was great. I know you guys didn't feel like you were doing whatever, you know, you were doing was the right thing, but this is what I would want us to do next time. But everything went smooth, you know what I mean?
I think I think you prepared us, because I've never dealt with a situation like that. And it'll take me to the next time where I was with Tyler and we were at another location, and a guy did pull once again a knife, and I knew exactly what to do because you had taught us the right way.
Teachable moments, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, because he was there as supervisor before, and then Tyler took over on that end. So being the under supervisor of both of them, I think they could both attest to like the fact of, I'd rather me take a shot as a supervisor versus you have to take a shot.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
But the biggest thing that I take from this is leadership. You know, it's leadership, taking accountability, taking ownership of everything that went down. Especially because no matter what you go through in life, it's you. You
Yeah.
know, you're taking, like, now I want to take. I want me being that supervisor. I would rather me do it than you. You
Yeah.
know. So with that being said, the way you handled it, the way you prepared us, man, you belong. You're one of the people that would say, like, you would be a good cop, you know, because you've seen it firsthand. And most obviously, you can testify that there is some bad cops out there. There's some cops, just like there's some bad Mexicans giving those Mexicans a bad name. You know, there's like people like that. Like, there's some people that are just trying to do what's right and take care of their family for whatever reason it is, you know. And that's what you portray to be in my eyes, and I feel it. So keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna get you there. Once again, thank you, because that prepared us for what we dealt with. And yesterday, even when we drew those tasers, you know, on to control the situation. It was me and Jesus, like clearing. It was me and Jesus. We were right there in the situation, taking ownership of what we were doing, taking care of our guys. But it wasn't because it all started the way you taught us, you know. So great job.
Just a preference on that, seeing the footage from where I was at, even though I wasn't there, I saw it. Saw that Jesus was there, saw that you were there, and I saw Tyler was there, and I said, it's covered. Not even worried about it. Not even worried about it. And on top of that, Lucaria was there. Again, shout out to Lucaria. But he was there. I'm like, this is squared away. Yep. God forbid if anything happens, I know Lucaria is going to oversee everybody. But I knew that, you know, I've given those little tidbits of advice and knowledge into you and Jesus, and as well as Tyler's given it to me. You know, I know that me and Tyler, and even when Breezer was on the shift, the way that we have our stuff set up is to keep you guys there for success, is to keep you out of danger, because at the end of the day, we're going home. I don't give a fuck what happens. No. We're going home. Yeah. So the experiences that Tyler's had is completely different. I've had a lot of experiences compared to, like, in his situations and the ride-alongs that I've done, the sketchy situations I've been on ride-alongs, and, you know, having to deal with stuff that probably shouldn't, you know, that they might have lost their badge for, but at the same time, in their mindset, we're going home. That's all that was.
That's someone who, like, and that's teaching, right? So, like, someone teaches you, you teach them. So, like, knowledge is continuous, right? So, like, someone dealt with it, you asked, they told you, then you've dealt with it, he asked, you tell him. Like, it's
paying it forward.
Yep.
Yeah. So, guys, once again, that's Tucker, Tyler, and Adam, and Jesus behind. Guys, I wanna wrap this up already. We're kind of going long on you guys, but now you guys know who Tyler and who Breezer, and a little bit of who Tucker is. But most and foremost, it's just a bunch of guys who have been. It's just a bunch of guys.
These are all shirt.
We should do
slogans.
The slogan. We should. It's just a bunch of guys that have been through different things in life and have different upbringings and different cards were dealt, and they dealt with their own situations on how they did it. But no matter how they did it, they ended up together in this room, in this small, like in this little room, and sharing the stories with you guys. And we want to motivate y'all. We want to motivate you, whoever you are out there that's struggling and can't find the way out. They keep telling you no. They keep rejecting you. You keep trying to be a fighter and you lose, and they keep telling your own families, telling you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you guys will hear it soon from Joe Coy, how they always told him, and he always jokes around, who told you were funny? His mom used to tell him.
Joseph.
Yeah,
Joseph. Who told you were funny? Yeah, so eventually he's going to tell you his story where he didn't make his outbreak until he was 19 years inside the comedy. Like, you know, imagine, how do you stay motivated for that long and just get a little break?
Yeah.
Now he's selling out arenas, guys. So he will be one of our future guests. And hear from us, from us, from the low barrel to the highest barrel. It's you get
to the highest
caliber.
Yeah. Well, hear it. We all went through some battles. We all made it through some way, somehow. Our success is measured differently. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, guys,
we're going to help you with your battle with English. Don't worry. We're going to get there.
Dude, an incredible fighter, but my God.
Dude.
It's English that takes him down. That's wild.
Not even English takes me down. I scramble like a motherfucker.
It nicked me.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah.
School's in session, bitch.
Guys, another one. Remember, guys, I'm the sports commentator for Football TV. Big shout out to Lights Out. Big shout out to Tapatio Beef Jerky, who's been with us, on board. I want to thank my buddy Rafa. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Karate Combat for giving me one more opportunity. I'm going to finish my career with Karate Combat. I got 4 fights, 16 months, guys. So stay tuned on the 23rd. We'll be live on YouTube. Go follow the Naked Raw Truth. There will be a link that you guys will be able to tune into the fight. And everybody, once again, guys, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any words? No.
We'll work on your grandma, and then we'll come back.
I have a little bit to say. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to ask us, anything you want us to talk about in depth more, or you want to know something we haven't spoke on, definitely leave it in the comments below.
Even if you're going through a rough time and you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, just put something in the comments.
We'll reply
I
to them.
guarantee you any of us will talk to you.
Definitely.
You can definitely also too write us on our social media, Instagram.
Yeah.
If you want like a more faster answer, like just
Message us directly. We're very open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely hit us up.
And guys, don't give up. You got this. All right.
Absolutely.
I guess you want to say anything? Bye.
No, I think we had a pretty good episode.
All right, guys. Hey guys, what do you guys think about the logo?
Looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Who made that? That's badass.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks,
This
guys.
is a wrap, guys.
All right.